such clever book titles as Eating People is Wrong. All right. Seeing as most of us are from Big Bear, this one would seem rather apropos. How to Date White Women. A Passion for Donkeys. Probably not as riveting as it sounds. And my favorite and seemingly most applicable, Outwitting Squirrels. All right. Now, just to clarify, these are all real books that I have not read. All right? I have better things to do with my time. But ultimately, Shannon is in charge, and she is much more cultured than I am. And so this year we have decided to choose Mary Shelley's Frankenstein.
All right, you better tell them about that.
No.
They don't know.
Uncultured.
Better tell the uncultured ones.
So, learn to live with the one you have chosen. Love them, pray for them, encourage them, but do not put the screws to them, or you'll find a monster of your own making. So, in the course of my 36 years on this earth, I have come to some rather profound conclusions. God is most assuredly real. We are not a group of little gods. And life would be amazingly easy if not for all the people in the world. Now, I get it. I realize so far this sounds just like a bunch of jokes and mindless satire, but I really do mean it. Living with another human being can be very difficult at times. Now, you have to understand, this came as a shock to me. Because I figured Mr. Never Wrong and Mrs. Always Right would have been a match made in heaven. However, Shannon failed to live up to that moniker. But I figured that wasn't going to be a problem because I knew with the proper motivation, I could twist her into the perfect wife. But unbeknownst to me, she figured with the proper application of force, she could pound me into the perfect husband. Now, we've been married going on 11 years, and I'm very proud and happy to say that I have, through hard work and patience, created the perfect wife. However, she, on the other hand, failed miserably. But most do. Creating a monster is the natural result of exerting your will on your spouse and inadvertently breeding resentment, anger, and malcontentment. The monster that you create can be a grotesque elephant in the room that neither one of you can ignore nor see past. So, what are some of the changes, most common changes sought after by couples? And what are those monsters that are most commonly created? Ginger Research Group, couldn't make that up if I wanted to, recently did a research poll using 1,500 married couples and asked the question, real simple question, what would you change about your spouse if you could? Split them up and ask the question. So, let's go through some of those. Now, these are women's gripes. That's not my word. These are women's gripes about men. Number one, most common answer from women. Be less grumpy. listen when I talk, stop bad habits, appreciate me more, help me around the house, now it's hitting close to home, eat healthier, we hear that a lot in this family, spend less money, drink less alcohol, put the seat down. Seems rather ambiguous, but whatever. Be more emotionally intelligent. To be honest, I have no idea what that means. So. All right, here's one. Dress sexier. Remember that. Dress sexier. Okay?
You're good there, Nick.
Yeah. Yeah, Check. Yeah. All right, here's another one. Put a pin in this one. Like the same TV programs. I'm going to come back to that. All right, stop smoking. Lose your beer belly. Do more with the kids. Be more confident in the bedroom. I think that has something to do with emotional intelligence. I'm not sure. All right. Shannon must have been at the study group, because the next one is be slightly taller. I'm not kidding. All right. Next one. Danielle must have went with her. Next one is shave facial hair. And I figure Michelle drove because the next one is have better hair. So. All right.
Awesome.
So, next, men's gripes about their wives. Number 1, be more affectionate. Number 2, be happier. Number 3, be more adventurous in bed. Not saying anything. Number 4, be tidier around the house. I'm definitely not saying anything. Next, appreciate me more. Healthier lifestyle. Not so tired all the time. Alright. Next one. One of the few that are on both lists. Dress sexier. That's amazing. Alright. Have more fun. Be less of a control freak. And then it says under that, if wishes were horses, then... Alright, next. Stop watching bad TV shows. Now, I think this is great. The women say, like the same TV shows, and men say, then stop watching bad TV shows. I just think they work in perfect. I mean, that says a fourth.
He lies.
Alright. Stop being obsessed with weight and diet. 14. Be more into sports. 15. Be more into sports. And oh, no, I already said that one. Pay more compliments. I think we're still talking about men. Like the same films as me and have more nights out with me. So those are the most common sought after changes. Now, it's a good thing they didn't ask these people how best to coerce their spouse into making said change. Because I make the contention that you cannot make somebody better through force, only different and usually worse. They say you can only lead a horse to water, but you cannot make them drink. Now I beg to differ. I'm a pretty strong guy. I say you can lead a horse to water, kick his knees out, and drag his head under the water until he takes a drink. Up until the point he overpowers you, stands up, kicks you square in the chest, and leaves you writhing in pain. Doesn't quite have the same ring to it. But the point is, with enough force, you can always cause a reaction. It's just without understanding love, care, and prayer, it is never the one you want. So the great question is, are we capable to make a change in our spouse that will make them a better version of themselves for us? And the answer is actually a definite maybe. It all depends on if they want to change and if you are willing to make the personal changes to warrant their willingness to want to change for you. So, what is a marriage seminar without a 3-step process, right?
Amen.
So how to change a loving spouse who wants to meet you halfway. Step 1. Clearly define an area that you would desire a change and define why. So, let's say, just for the sake of argument, I want my wife to develop a interest in sports. Why? So that we can share a hobby together. Okay? Step 2. Give her a compelling reason to want to make a change. Okay? If I made it known that I wished my wife to have an interest and share a hobby with me, watching sports, let's say, and then my wife came home and I was sitting on the couch reading Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice, and I invited her over and gently took her hand and sat her next to me, and I engaged her in a philosophical disquisition about the nature and magnitude of Mr. Darcy's stud muffinness.
Preach it.
After she was done dancing around and crying, she would be the one to ask me, what time is the ball game on tonight? Okay? I thought that was the concept of going 2 miles. It is an amazingly powerful tool in a marriage. You can call it the law of reaping and sowing. You can call it Newton's third law of motion. You know, one of the ways I think about it, and I don't know if it's right, but it works for me anyway, is the concept in Matthew 7 about the speck in the eye, right? It doesn't say don't ever point out the speck in your brother's eye. It says take the log out of yours first before you try to help somebody else, you know? So if you want to help your spouse, that and godly wisdom, and you think it would be beneficial for your marriage, then fix your problems first, and then pursue something that she could change for her. Step 3. It's as easy as being consistent, which all of us know ain't easy. But you have to understand, I realize this is not a deep concept and this is not a complex topic, right? But that's not to say that this isn't something that we should all dwell on daily. Pursue your desired change with a fervent tenacity and a determined consistency. Okay? I have to remind myself about this. When you get home from work, offer, husbands, offer to make dinner. And then offer to clean up afterwards. And then think to ask, sweetheart, would you like to take a break from all the chaos and sit down and watch a game with me? You're going to find the result is much better. Now, understand, it doesn't have to be anything as trivial as sports. Okay? But if you don't remember anything else from today, from me anyway, Always remember never to forget the sexy outfits. But
Preach.
all joking aside, guys, seriously. Men, do not be a fool and waste 1 minute striving to make your life more fun, more adventurous, or more exciting if your marriage is dull, boring, and drying up.
Next stop, you're gonna have to say that again. Yeah.
Yeah, and we missed it.
Baby monitor.
She thought she knew how to fit it up.
One more time and then put it on the chalkboard.
Yeah.
And then act it out.
All right.
Always remember the sexy outfits.
All right.
No, I said don't be a fool, men, and waste 1 minute striving to make your life more fun, adventurous, or exciting if your marriage is dull, boring, and drying up.
That's good.
Marriage is such a beautiful thing if done right. Don't turn it into something ugly just to temporarily make yourself a little more comfortable. Continue to laugh, continue to grow, and always seek to earnestly change for one another. And you'll never find yourself rummaging through the garage looking for your old torches and pitchforks.